The weight of my heart is to an open door. The weight of my heart is if you keep on knocking. Weight of my heart is if you give me more. Weight of my heart is if you keep on rocking. You know the way, you know the way. When there's nowhere left to go, wait by my door every night and day and keep on knocking.
Welcome to the Laughing Monkey Music Show. Tonight we have the Fire Tiger Band on. How are you all doing today?
Good. Thanks for having us.
Awesome.
Well, it is a pleasure. Be careful not to step on each other's words. It's got the Hollywood squares here going on here. So you guys are a band based out of LA. Been around for a little bit. Let's go through and introduce everybody. You want to start? Tiff, you want to start in the bottom square? I figure you're the vocalist. You could be the speaker.
I'm Tiffany Alcurry, the lead singer of Fire Tiger.
I'm James. I play keys.
A guitar. I saw that. Very nice.
Oh, yeah. Sorry about that.
It wouldn't be an interview if I didn't have a phone ringing in it. Everyone. So welcome to the interview. Let's break a lamp now. Right, next, Jordan.
Jordan, Lucas, I play the guitar.
And then Tyler Renga, bass.
Right, excellent. Well, okay, so when did the band first start? Because I know you have a little bit of history there, playing out.
2011 is when we officially started, and we've been doing it ever since that time, and we've changed our lineup, so you're going to see different people on our Energy album. And yeah, this is our current lineup.
You guys have a ton of everything's so professional. It's literally like you guys are out there already, like a big band, with your videos and your albums and everything. Are you guys all doing your own stuff independently and then putting it out, or?
Oh, by the way, that heavy breathing is our dog, Gershwin.
Yeah, no one's having sex behind us. That's our dog.
All right, I don't have to put the extra rating on the thing. It's a regular YouTube. Okay.
Yeah.
So it can go on YouTube Kids. Great. Okay.
Sounds really anyway. So yeah, we're all I guess we write the songs, me and James, and yeah, I guess we Jordan has a song called it's the Getaway Song on there.
Mhm.
So is that your question? What we do? Like what our
No,
parts
no,
are?
no. We've got a question. Like a lot of bands are coming out now and being more their own producers, video, audio recording. Like you guys are putting
Well,
out
we do
professional
it because
product.
we have to. You know, we're independent. We're not signed to a record label, and our videos are done with no budget, and so are our albums. Basically, I mean, we spend money on mastering, but we record almost everything at home. Drums we go to a studio, um, but yeah, there you have it.
It sounds really good. It doesn't sound like it. I know, and even the videos are fun. It's and you don't have to do it. A lot of bands just have been out for a long time. They're not doing anything. You guys are kind of doing do it yourself kind of thing. So it's nice actually.
Yeah, I mean,
Um,
obviously, we'd rather go to a big studio with a board and record on tape and have big budget videos and all that. But
oh, you guys sound pretty big. The recordings are pretty good. I don't know how big a difference it's going to make. I mean, it might be more
Thanks.
relaxing for you guys, but like the sound, and being
Well,
somebody that grew up in that
well,
in that
actually,
era, you guys sound like literally. I couldn't tell you the difference in production.
yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
cool.
there's a saying that you can do things cheap, fast, or well, but you can't have all three at the same time. So we take a while to do our stuff. So we don't do
Cheap,
things
fast,
fast.
and well. Yeah,
So we
I could
do.
do. I'm trying
Yeah,
to think
so
about
we do
my
things cheap
parenting
and
skills.
well.
My parenting skills, I can do cheap and fast.
I
Not
like
well
that.
though. So
Yeah. So yeah, cheap and well is kind of our goal.
well, the production is good. I would just go for production and didn't end up using it, but I'm very picky about it, and I have a lot of my own opinions, and I was very pleased when listening to it. So it's always a relief to like, oh, phew, man.
Well,
I can say
thanks.
how great it is. I don't have to avoid it. So the pandemic's really changed things. So obviously, you guys started out. You got to a point now where you've been out for many years now, albums and videos. Got a regular cycle. So before this happened, actually, were you touring a little bit, like California, like small little tours, sort of?
No, we
No.
did basically a Sunset Strip tour. We
Yeah.
have
An
we're
extended.
We've done one-offs, like we did a festival in Canada that we were invited to. We'll go
Mhm.
play wherever we're invited, but we haven't had. Again, we're not signed to a label or anything, so it's been a
Oh
little bit.
no, I asked that actually. A lot of people they're doing similar to do-it-yourself type of stuff and really good production. It's very pleasing actually because no record companies very you guys have a lot of control are actually doing their own tours, hopping on,
yeah.
and they're just the artists. They're making their own. They're going from town to town. They're just shoestring the whole way. They're touring just like that, and they're out there. And I'm just kind of curious if you guys were doing that too.
The thing is, there's so many bands that are on tour, and we have friends that are signed, and they go on tour, and they can barely afford gas. I think
Yep.
one of them, their van broke down, and they did a GoFundMe for it, and they're signed to a major label. And so we want a big deal where we don't have to do that. So I get scared. I get scared of motels with
Yeah.
bed bugs. I don't want to get diseased because I have to go play tour.
Right.
But I think until we get that big major label deal or something that could fund us to take us to the top, or a respectable tour, we're just going to be in our basement.
It's like
doing it.
$1,500. It's like $1,500 a day for a bus, not
Yeah,
including
no,
gas.
it's very expensive. So
Go
we
a month and a half like that. Oh,
So
insane.
I would rather spend my time writing more music and just recording songs and releasing it because that takes a lot of work, like
We
full
do,
attention.
we do love to play live though. We played live a lot locally. It's just the logistics of a tour. We're waiting for the right opportunity.
Yeah, we're ready, but it needs to be the right opportunity. And so far, it hasn't been.
Who do you think you would be, like fit in with touring though? Like if you could tour, like say you get major labels, like what do you think would be your what's your market like? What are you going for? I mean, I have my own opinions and I tend to share them a lot. But I
Go
wasn't
ahead, go ahead.
Oh no, you don't want to hear my opinions right now.
Yeah, we do.
No, 'cause like I'll come in, I'll hear an album, or I'll say something, and I always feel like it puts a fingerprint on it, and it's like, and sometimes it's really good for a band, not when I say, but like in general, but you're like, oh, this band sounds like whatever, and then like the band gets locked in that one thing when they get known for that thing. So I'd like to hear what you guys think. Like who do you think would be a good package for you guys starting out? Like, you know what I mean? Like, who's your audience?
Maybe I would go for a retro inspired band that's modern today. So something in the middle like The Killers or Walk the Moon or even Daft Punk with their latest album. As far as classic rock artists goes, I mean, anybody really.
I could have seen you guys play. Now I'll give you my, as you asked, my opinion. I see a lot of bands. I go from thrash to pop and whatever. Me and my wife went and saw it was OMD, B-52s, and I forget who else was. You guys would have been perfect for that stage. You guys would be perfect
Thanks
open
so
for
much.
OMD. They got the same. You get the same energy as they do. The same big sound. The very danceable, happy. You actually think that probably the best band would be like OMD, like
That'd
live
be
big.
cool.
And I was actually surprised that they sounded so vibrant. Like at this point, because I only knew a couple of their songs, I was blown away. I became a fan of them. I was like, I wasn't expecting that. Um, so being out in LA, what the bands are different out there. I don't. I was surprised. Like an '80s band. Is that like what's going on the scene right now? Like, is there a competition for your type of music, or is it just kind of like rock, or what's going on out there now? It's
Tyler, he's our bassist. He plays a lot in LA. Um, with we want to talk about it at all, or
Yeah, I mean, so, and actually some of your guests have been on this, such as Patrick and Nikki and stuff, but,
Mhm.
they have this weekly ultimate jam night down in Hollywood on the Strip, and it's basically the Whiskey A Go-Go. It's a weekly thing, and, they have different themes and whatnot and all that. And so, I'll go on there and hop on with some of them and stuff. But, I think when it comes to in terms of like musically all the bands right now, I got to be honest, I think, I mean, right now there's a lot of those bands from the Sunset Strip days in the early 80s that are still, kind of headlining the Whiskey, doing their thing, all that sort of stuff. And then, of course, I think there's not really too much in between. It's just a lot of local acts, I think, that are kind of filling in the other nights. And then you have your glammy bands,
Mhm.
doing their thing, especially on like a Friday or a Saturday night. So, to be honest with you, in terms of like the lineups, it seems like it's kind of still kind of like how it was in the 80s with, here and there a little bit of a mix. But um, honestly, I don't really think there's anybody you could compare us to that's kind of doing still the same thing over there in terms of like that AOR melodic, kind of classic pop rock thing. I still think it's still more dominantly glam metal, pop metal, whatever you want to call it.
Sean, I
But
think you interviewed Stephen Piercy from Rat.
I did.
Yeah, I saw a little bit of that. That was cool.
We'd like to tour with Rat.
Yeah.
So let them know.
Hopefully,
Yeah.
I saw you guys at one point played a Steel Panther because I can see that's a kind of a similar
Yeah.
audience.
The name similarity is kind of unfortunate. They Steel Panther used to be metal school,
Right, and
so about at the same time they were metal school and they changed their name to Steel Panther, and I came up with the name Fire Tiger around the same time. It definitely was not a. I'd rather we not have like a cat and or an adjective. And
I didn't. I'll be honest with you. I didn't even think of the competition. I didn't even think of it as being similar. I didn't even. Yeah.
It's not.
Well,
definitely not intentional. But
yeah, well, we had that festival in Canada was with Loverboy, and I thought that was that was supposed to be kind of an 80s day at that festival. They had also who the heck was that? You guys remember? There's somebody that came on right after us, right before.
They
the
were really
spoons,
good.
the spoons.
Yeah, they were.
Yeah,
Spoons.
yeah.
So I mean, Loverboy was one. I know there's been missing persons in the past. So, I mean,
Yeah,
there's
we opened for Missing Persons at one point, and Steel Panther we opened for a couple times, and Loverboy with the Spoons in Canada, and
see that.
it always goes over well, but it's a hard business.
Yeah, it's hard because I can see you guys fitting in different things, and you guys are kind of already packaged. We call it like a turnkey business, or you already have your music is recorded. You have an image. You have a following. Really, there's a lot less for the label to do, except with the money to promote you guys with the right audience. I mean, you guys are ready for pop radio, you know, and you guys can
Well, if you know
transcend
someone,
between the two. I mean,
Yeah.
it's it's super catchy, and
it's
so
all about who you know. You know, there's not a coincidence that all these people who are getting signed, it's like their dad, you know, was in a band, or you know, not all of them, but a lot of them, or their neighbor, you know, knows the head of Sony Records,
Mhm.
or you know, it's a who do you know? Because there are 10 million bands out there in the world. They estimated 10 million bands. Think about that, 10 million bands, all on the internet. So the fact that we even
I would
have
say
it,
about 1,000 of them only sound good though. 1,000 out of all of them are worth it. So let's
but
cut some of
like
those
to
numbers
get
down.
heard by anybody is a miracle. It takes like God to come down and give you this miracle of being heard by just anybody. So yeah,
It feels like there's more bands than people, and then there's more labels than bands. Except it's just,
oh my God, if
I
you
don't know
check
what
how
happened.
many labels there
Yeah.
are and then how many bands are on those labels, it's gonna make you crazy. It
I
can
hear
make
from
anybody
labels all the
crazy.
time. I didn't even know it existed. I get so many emails from labels and MP3s and from other bands. There's a lot out there. Yeah.
Yeah.
But the thing is, out of a lot of them, you guys stand out. We were
Thank
talking
you.
prior to, you guys are your own machine, and I think with your fan base, I think you can kind of force your own way in though, without, because you're not really competing against anybody. You just got to get out there more.
How did you hear about us?
Probably Tyler.
Was it was
I think
was
we
it the
come
Glam Rock?
across. I'm sorry, what? You were breaking
I
up.
think it was the Glam Rock City page, because I've known those guys for years in
Yeah.
one of my old picks, and then I think they told me to interview with you.
Yep.
So I think that's how it
And I
went.
think I've had one or two other people. Some of your fans have actually reached out to me too. I'll have fans that'll message me and be like, "You gotta do this
Oh,
band."
okay.
So
Oh, wow.
Oh, cool.
yeah. So I've had people tell me that. I'm like, all right, get off my back. I'm already gonna do it. I already talked to Tyler. God. No, but there were people like, I'm like, yes, stay tuned. There's been a couple bands that's like, you gotta do this band. I'm like, I already have them. I'm already doing it. So
I'm sorry. I don't know this already, but I see all the guitars and stuff in the background. Do you have a band as well?
No, I actually, in a nutshell, my kids play. I got them in music early, so almost enough to be a band too. We just need a drummer. That's all we need.
Yeah, we do too, obviously.
Yeah. But then again, I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't know if I want to have a drummer kid in my house. I'm like, you need to go somewhere else. My daughter, they've all played out too, like 13, 16. They've all played out. It's crazy. It's just too much for me. Give them a couple of years. Within their 20s, we'll be friends again.
They probably want to be doctors and lawyers and stuff.
Yeah, they actually want to do like professional careers or art. My wife's an artist too, so our house is full of just drawing stuff and music stuff. So
Nice.
And I was like, oh, they're gonna grow up and be like, I want to be a librarian. Where's my pocket protector? I'm like, what's wrong with you? Get your guitar. Get your study back.
I don't want to be a band. I want to do something. Yeah,
That's
it's always the opposite. Yeah.
That's how much
I want to buy your guitar for Christmas. No, I want a math book. Oh. What do you want to practice your guitar? No, I'm gonna do algebra. Yeah, so, you sound like, what did you guys listen to when you first started off? Like, what were you listening to when you first started playing?
Well, me, it was I mean, I grew up on Kiss, Cheap Trick. I mean, I actually grew up more on 70s more than anything, but it was funny. My dad, who's been a musician for forever, he kind of had me all on the 70s stuff. Then my mom, they both grew up on the Sunset Strip scene. My dad was a part of that whole scene with Motley Crue and all those types. And then my mom, she was, doing the whole going to the Strip too and checking out this. So I got a lot of like the 80s glam, new wave, all that from her side of things. So I just, it was always playing in the car, always at home, always just tons of those artists, like more than I could even, fathom at that age. But it gradually went from there. And, but yeah, I mean, I'm mainly rooted in classic rock and things like that, Kiss, Cheap Trick, AC/DC.
But they all those bands mix well with you guys. There's a pop sensibility that strings across almost every band, unless you're like, grindcore or something. But you know what I'm saying? Classic rock to the 80s. And I think the reason why I think it's special with the 80s with you guys having that sort of sound and because it can blend across is the 80s pop music had so many different types of music. The Cars did not sound like Prince. I mean, there was a window of time where everyone sounded differently. So I
Yeah,
think
but-
the nod to that with you guys is like you guys sound different than everything else out there right now.
what the 80s to us is just awesomeness. So that's all it really means to me. It's like the bar is set so high as far as big sound, big, big look, big sounding singers,
Mhm.
big melodies, big production. Everything was big.
And
So
like-
that was in every genre you could think of. So, from the Smiths to Depeche Mode to
rap.
to rap in the
Yeah.
80s,
Rap,
to Bon
rap,
Jovi.
rap. I was thinking rap, the band.
I was gonna
Yeah.
say 80s
Team
rap,
rap.
music
Yeah,
too.
yeah, but yeah.
Everything was just theatrically over the top and just something that you would think of in your dreams, and it came into reality. And so that's what the 80s is to me. So when someone is like, "You sound 80s," that just means you sound awesome.
Well, it does.
So we take it as a compliment.
So yeah,
No, you should,
there's
because
no
it's-
sound. There's no sound.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm saying. I think when we say 80s, it's not like you sound like a band like stated. It sounds like you sound like a pop band that has their own sound because that was the time period when a lot of the bands, Men at Work or each of these bands had, their own sound. You can't
I would
compare
say
to those
we're not
guys.
even 80s enough because we
Right.
could be
Well, no.
awesomer.
You
And
guys sound good. I mean, it's interesting. I'm curious, Jordan, with your guitar, what's your background? Because your
My-
influences there.
My
Your
first
influences.
favorite rock and roll band was Guns N' Roses, and they were my favorite. Not only my favorite band, they're just my favorite thing ever. So Guns N' Roses was my life for probably the first year of my guitar playing. I was highly influenced at that time in many ways, but then I got really
Yeah.
into Hendrix, Aerosmith, Zeppelin, and then I basically followed time from there. So I saw who they influenced and I saw who they influenced, and you can go back in time, you can go further back. So I just kind of stretched out from there, just branching. But my favorite, Guns N' Roses, Hendrix, Aerosmith,
Yeah.
Zeppelin.
What about you guys? For influences there, either of you.
love all those bands and
All those.
more. So we have too many.
Too
at
many?
once.
Well, I meant they got you going, you each had with your band or what you were into. That's cool. I just find when I was watching your news video and listening to it, it's trying to understand where all the different sounds are coming from because it's such a good blend.
A Magical Brew you're talking about?
Yeah, I am. Yeah. And as
That's a brew.
Feeling so fine with the magical brew, brewing to set you free. You're on your way. The magical brew, the magic is all you need. You're A-okay. Magical brew, brewing to set you free. You're on your way. Magical
When you get that band together with your kids, we gotta go on a tour together.
Oh my gosh! I wouldn't even go across town with them in the same car, all of us together. Go on tour together? Oh my god! It would be like the Rolling Stones. We'd all be in our own dressing rooms, stadiums across, golf carts to this side. There's no way. And I think it'd be more them not want to be around me either way.
Aw.
They're kids, man. You don't hang out with your parents. So let's talk about some of your music. We'll start with your newer stuff. And right now, your newest album, you got about your newest video. Let's talk about what's going on with them. All right.
All right.
Anybody can field that question. Let's talk about it. So, your newest album, the newest one you have done. What's going on with it? Who wants to field that question?
Well,
We could start
Well-
from the first video, Don't Take Me Home. If you guys,
Yeah.
It's easier
Yeah.
if you
All
guys
right.
take control of your own media. Please step on.
badass song. They had it fleshed out. I added a little bit of chunk guitar wise in there, but they had it pretty much just fleshed out. It was super fun.
Yeah, I've always noticed that it's funny, the first track on every record so far has kind of been I've talked about this before, almost the hair metal song of the record,
Yeah.
always track has that vibe. And then it's just, and then it goes to so many fishes where you're you got your dance pop kind of almost like share kind of vibe, you know. But yeah, I mean, that's the latest record though. I don't know. I love how every song is just different than the one before it. You know, everything kind of is almost in its own league. You know,
It's all very upbeat though too though. We all gotta.
We like to do that. We're jokesters at heart, and we like to start off with a hair metal song, reel in all those
Yeah.
guys from a motorcycle club, and then hit them with fishes.
Well, it started with Energy, our first album, Energy. We were really happy with the response for it on an indie level. We were really happy with the response from the fans. So we tried to kind of with the new albums, we're always worried about, is this new album gonna be at least as good as the last one, or if not better?
Mm-hmm.
And so yeah, that's been kind of the formula for us. Hair metal song, track 1. Track 2, like really upbeat commercial song. Yeah.
And what's been the feedback so far? The new one.
The new one, it's actually I think it's sold more than any of our. We're still
Well,
growing.
because we sell more and more every album, we collect more fans. So when we drop the album, that's when all the majority of the sales come in a big mountain. It's like a heap, and the heap gets bigger with every album. So
Good.
That's cool.
But it's still just enough to pay for everything it costs to do everything.
Pay for my burritos. I've got to stop.
Well, so the question is, especially you can be on a tour bus with everybody in a small area.
Yeah.
I
was saying, just kind of.
I
don't like to work out, so I gotta.
What's the? Hey, you and me both. The only gym for me is like a gym dandy. What was the for me actually the question comes up a lot now with bands, like what is the preferred medium? Are you doing just digital? Are you doing CDs? Are you doing also I just want to add, I think you guys should put out your videos on a VHS tape. I think it would be hilarious to do, but that's just my opinion.
Awesome.
It was so funny, but no, but seriously, like are you doing like downloads, some vinyl, like what do you
we have vinyls. We have a vinyl for each of our 3 albums. It has a vinyl record, and yeah, we're very proud of that. It was kind of a rite of passage when we first did it, and I was just really happy with our fans seem to
they're getting it, they're buying it. Well, this is a hard thing because I love vinyl. I've got a huge vinyl collection, but not all audiences want to buy vinyl, and it'd be cost prohibitive to some bands to do it because if their audience is not a vinyl audience, they all want to be on their iPod or their Samsung or something. You know what I'm saying? It's not going to help you if you're stack at your house in the garage. You know what I mean? Because
yeah.
Well, it seems like we do pretty well physically. Physical copies seem to do better than our streams, so that's one thing to be proud of.
Really? So is it like mail order? They'll buy them quicker, or when you guys play out, you'll.
Yeah, we also actually I forgot we also made cassettes for every album, and actually the cassettes are actually a lot more affordable than
so
the vinyl.
So it gets crazier over here. Not the sanest bunch in the world.
But that's crazy, like cassettes, because I mean, I can see it's fun.
It is.
Who has cassette players nowadays, though? Like,
it's really like a business.
The vinyls sell a lot more than the cassettes, but the cassettes are
so cute.
That's very cute.
Thing.
I love to.
Remember the pet rock?
Yeah.
The
They
pet
have the
rock?
charm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It really kind of helps kind of show kind of what we're about in a silly way too. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's
if anyone buys
a silly
cassette,
thing to do.
If anyone buys a cassette, we'll send them a digital download and stuff.
Yeah. Well, that's kind of the precedent nowadays. Anything you buy, you always get the digital download with it. Yeah. You buy vinyl now, and they're like, "We'll give you the digital version too." I'm like, "I'm fine, actually. I get the vinyl. If I wanted the digital download, I would just would have gotten it." But with a cassette, I would say, "Yeah, I need it because I don't have a cassette player anymore." And I had the biggest collection of cassettes too, like hundreds of them. Now it's just hundreds of vinyl. Yeah, that's why I made the joke with the VHS, because I saw you guys had the cassettes, and you guys have a pretty good store of media too, though, T-shirts, and it's pretty good. So one of the things I'm gonna tell everybody right now, we'll have all the links for all of your stuff on the page. We'll have your YouTube, your store, your website, everything on there, so people can go. Are you guys doing anything special during this pandemic to kind of keep things going? Now you're kind of like locked in.
Yeah, locked in with our cute dogs here that make noises.
They're sleeping.
They're sleeping now. But yeah, just that, and thinking of other businesses we could do to make money.
We're networking like crazy too. We're just at this point we're just like like for me personally, I'm just going up front with it. I'm just like hitting up anybody and going, do you know who can help with this, that? I mean, I'm not afraid anymore. I'm just like, at this point, what's
I
the
was
it's like,
enjoying it. It's everyone's out there for it. Everyone's pretty receptive to it. Seems like, you know.
We're working on a new music video as well. We have one more music. Our goal was to actually make a music video to every song on this 12-song record. So we've got 9 of them done, and so the next one was going to be
Undeniable, which we're going to be filming here in San Francisco. We're just 40 minutes away right now, so that's going to be cool.
That's really cool. That is really good. Are you guys doing anything else like streaming or anything like any kind of like little like streaming, or like some bands are actually doing like acoustic things on Facebook, like things for the fans, keep people interested during
So
the
we
time.
can all play together, kind of. We've been trying to find the best website where we could play together and not go off the track, because I'm just afraid of playing and then we're out of sync with each other. So do you guys know any websites that
Yeah.
we probably just have to come together.
She's talking about having a live
stream.
jam that would be like Jordan's in Seattle,
Yep.
Tyler's in Los Angeles, and we're near San Francisco. So we're all kind of in different areas right now.
I'm in LA right now, but
Oh, yeah.
in Seattle half the time.
Oh, you're back in LA?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Are you guys all based out of LA, or like how?
Yeah, normally.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, because I've done some bands and they're like they have people all over the place, and I'm like, you know, how does that even happen? I can't even get a band together, like, you know, in the same town, all coordinated. How do you get people? You know, I was talking to Venom Inc. and they're like they have people like in different countries, different continents. I'm like, how do you guys rehearse? How do you even get anything together? There are different time zones. I couldn't even get you guys together for an interview. It's like 3 weeks.
Right now there's the pandemic, so we're kind of, going visiting home and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But the vaccine should come out, I think, for everybody, and they say 3 months. So
We'll see. The
We'll
younger
see.
ones, we'll see. We'll see. Yeah. Well, I asked because like a lot of bands have different opinions. Like, you know, some of them are doing the jam where they're like they're all remote jamming, and I don't know kind of voodoo they're doing to get the jamming and getting past that latency thing and getting it all synced up. I don't know how.
Yeah.
A lot of people are like, I like the idea of it because, you know, we're in separate places. When I'm done, I just turn it off. I don't have anybody knocking over my stuff, harassing my stuff. And a lot of people are like, I want to play with people. I don't want to do it at all.
So if the song already exists, then everybody does a take along with the song, and then they take that track and Lego them together in post-production. So right now, I think the only way to get a solid jam, if you will, is to unfortunately not do it live. So there's that, unless we're all together. But right now,
What song was that?
check out our music at firetigermusic.com, and everything you need to know is right there.
Excellent. Well,
And on
Check
social
out the-
media, we're at Fire Tiger Band. That's our handle on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter.
Okay,
At
excellent.
Fire Tiger Band.
and everything will be on the links as usual, and we'll have some music at the end of this. Very good. It's been cool.
Thanks for
Right.
interviewing us.
No problem.
Thanks so much for having us. Yeah.
Thank you.
Ew.
Yeah.
All right.
you are